What's up, magical human? Hey, if you're like me and you want to create a bigger impact on the world, why not share your knowledge and talents with others? Welcome to the podcast where I share marketing strategies, product creation tips, and real life stories of how women all over the world are using their knowledge and creativity to build a life and business they love on their terms. I'll share with you over a decade of knowledge and show you how you can take what you already know and do and package it into a digital product like a course, membership site, or digital download that sells globally. I'm Amy Jo, and you're listening to the Digital Magic Podcast. Well, hey there. Thanks for tuning in. I was just looking at my podcast analytics and oh man, you guys are really loving the Amazon KDP episode that I put out there. So thanks for taking a listen to that. And I thought that I would get into that a little bit more in this episode. And I don't know if you're interested in publishing low content books, if you're interested in publishing children's books, if you're interested in doing like maze books, puzzle books, journals, planners, there's so many different things that you can publish through Amazon KDP. And I thought that I would talk a little bit more about what the publishing process was like when I put out my children's books. I'm going through it again for my second one. And so I'm right in the thick of it. So I thought now would be a really good time to put out an episode for those of you who are interested in getting started on Amazon KDP and starting to do publishing on there. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you haven't yet downloaded my free resource, it's 65 digital products you can create and sell online. I talk a lot about KDP things that you can create and start selling on there. So you can grab that on my website. Just go to herownmagic.com and you can snag that. Can't miss it. It's right on the homepage. And then something else super cool, if you haven't heard yet, I do have a YouTube channel and I'm starting to put out little tutorials on there too. There's Canva tutorials, there is a KDP tutorial on there. There's lots of different things coming out. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around and I really enjoy doing it. So you can find me at Her Own Magic on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow along. Good times had by all over there. All right. Now, I mentioned just a second ago that I am in the thick of it publishing my second children's book. My first one, it was the first time I had ever done anything like that. It was back in 2021. It was called The Magical Mind of Mitzi. You can check it out. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon KDP. And it was just such a fun process. And I think that's why I started, talking about really creating anything. I think I talk a lot about creating digital products because I think that is just super efficient because you can create and sell them when you're on the go, out on the road. And there's something really magical about that. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about packaging. You don't have to worry about any of that. Other things, whether you're doing print on demand or you're doing Amazon KDP, like they handle the delivery of your stuff. All you have to worry about is the actual creation of the thing. And so when I was creating my children's book, the first one, The Magical Mind of Mitzi, I was like, I want to do this print on demand because that is going to be what's going to work best for me. I have a son. We are out and about all the time, busy, busy, busy. And so I wanted something that I could create, but then I could kind of put it out there and Amazon can handle the delivery of it, the printing, the packaging, all of that stuff. And even for those of you who are interested in launching like an ebook, of course, Amazon will deliver that through Kindle. How nice is that? Thanks, Amazon. 2 thumbs up. So today I wanted to get in the actual creation and kind of setting up your KDP account. So if that is something you're interested in, well, you're in the right spot because that's what we're talking about today. So I have, how many steps do I have? I have like 13 steps. We're just going to go through them one by one. Again, this is the process that I used for my first book. It's the one I'm using for the second one called Mitzi's Magical Idea that I'm going through the process of publishing right now. And we're going to hop right into it as far as publishing. This one's going to be kind of children's book specific, but you can use any of these tips for anything that you're wanting to publish through Amazon KDP. Now, the first one, of course, you're going to have to write your manuscript. This is going to be write and create the thing, right? So whether you're doing a journal, planner, whatever it is that you're wanting to create, you have to get the thing made. And so for me, I don't know, I do my best thinking in the shower and when I'm laying in bed. And so typically that is where I am writing my children's book or where I am, putting all of my digital products together mentally. And even sometimes I'll just flip over on my phone and I have my notes app and I just put everything in there. And so the last 2 books that I've done, I've written in my notes app just on my phone while I'm laying in bed. And so you're going to write your manuscript. You're going to create your product. And if you're not interested in, writing a children's book or anything like that, you can use Canva and you can create your planners, or you can create your journals, or whatever it is that you're wanting to put out through Amazon KDP. So that's step 1. You have to get the thing done. And of course, step 2, you're going to want to edit and proofread. You don't want any typos happening in there. So either you're going to do that. What I have done with my last book and what I'm doing with this one is I have multiple people read it before it ever goes out to the public. And so I'm having people read it, I'm having them edit it, I'm getting their thoughts, their feedback. Does this make sense? What should she do next? Like, does it progress, and is there an end of the story? Is there a theme that you're noticing? I want as much feedback from other people about my book as possible before it goes out to the public, so that I feel confident with what I'm putting out, but also it looks more professional if we don't have any typos hiding in there as well. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, this is specific for, I was going to say it's specific for children's book because I'm talking about creating your illustrations, but if you are not interested in creating graphics, or maybe you're like, well, I'm not an artist, like I don't want to create graphics, what do I do? You can hire someone to do it. Hire it out, outsource it. Get someone who is, who has the style that you're looking for, and hire them to do it. And so for me, my illustrator, we teamed up and I found him on a freelancing site. So like I said, you can use Fiverr, you can use Upwork, I did a lot of research on Pinterest as well, just interviewing different children's book authors or illustrate. Well, I'm the author here, people. No, I was interviewing children's book illustrators because I had a very specific, vision in mind for what I wanted it to look like. So I wanted to make sure that whoever I was bringing, quote unquote, on my team to help me do this thing, that we were on the same page and they had the style that I wanted. So that worked out real well. And so hire it out if you don't want to create the graphics or illustrations yourself is step number 3. Step number 4, you're going to want to format your book. Now, I see a lot of people who go through and they get to step number 3, and as soon as it comes to step number 4, when it comes to like the formatting of your actual Amazon KDP book, they freak out. Totally get it. I freaked out too, but we're not going to let the freakouts keep us from launching the thing, right? So what you're going to want to do, and this is Amazon KDP specific, is they have templates and they have links on their website that will say, hey, these are the dimensions that you need. This is what you need to upload. You can download this template file and use this kind of as your guide so that the size of your thing that you're creating is going to match up with what they can actually print. Now, this was a really big oops that I made the very first time I published my book, The Magical Mind of Mitzi. The first time I published that one, I was like, I want it to be, I think it was like 11.5 by 8, where it's, it's a bigger book, hardcover. It was larger long ways than it was tall. And I published that through Ingram Spark before I went in to publish it through Amazon KDP. You do not have to do that. I am just dramatic, and that's just what I did. Ingram Spark distributes through, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Target, all of those other places that I wanted my book available, and so that is why I went through them first. Now, what I didn't do, I just assumed that everyone had the same dimensions and printing capabilities. Well, they don't. And so after all of my illustrations were done, after my cover was designed, after everything was set and published and gone through Ingram Spark, then I went over to Amazon and I was like, oh, they don't have the same dimensions. Oh no. And so I had to crop and just reformat every single page and the cover. And so it was kind of a nightmare. So you're going to want to go to make sure that you download those templates, you understand what dimensions that they offer, because not all printing platforms are going to be the same and offer the same amount. Take it from me. So that is step number 4. You can also hire this out if you don't want to mess with any of that as well. Just go on over to Fiverr, find someone who, is like a star seller or whatever they call it over on Fiverr, who has done this a lot, where they're a professional, if you don't even want to mess with it. Do not let this keep you stuck from getting your book out. Okay? Okay. Number 5. You gotta create the cover. So the actual manuscript is different than the cover. You're gonna have two files when you upload to Amazon KDP. You're gonna have your actual manuscript. So, if you're a children's book author, if that's what you're publishing, you're gonna have your illustrations with the text on top. So that's gonna be everything in the middle. In the middle.